Hello and welcome to the Whoniverse. Now the world is a chaotic place that is ever changing and full of surprises that aren't always nice. I'm 19 and in my lifetime alone I've seen politics go from boring grey-haired men in suits to crazy cowards with last names that sound like farts who have their fingers constantly on the button. The cost of some products double and their contents half, tons of stupid wars for the same pointless reasons as centuries ago, and the rise of technology's grip on humanity. If that's now, then what does the future hold? Well, the brilliant writer, storyteller and craftsman Russell T Davies may have some of the answers in a new 6-part series called Years and Years, which is currently airing on BBC One. The series follows 3 generations of one Manchester family from 2019 to 2034, as they try to navigate the chaos the future will bring. Episode 1 was full of surprises just in the first 10 minutes. A no-nonsense character played by the great Emma Thompson, called Vivian Rook, a character name Russell has used before in Doctor Who, makes some very literal comments on Question Time. She's a lady that's not afraid to speak her mind, even if it requires some bad language, leading to a bit of outrage to get your attention. The Lyons family have split very relatable reactions to this announcement, from laughter to shock, with the revelation that politics isn't boring anymore, and hasn't been for a while. As we are slowly introduced to each character of the stellar cast, including Russell T Davies as a housing officer, Daniel, Stephen, a financial advisor and loving family man, played by Rory Kinnear, Rosie, a fun-loving single mother who has lower body paralysis, played by Ruth Madley, paired with their partners and children as well as Grandma Muriel, played by Anne Reid. As they gather around Rosie and a newly born child, Daniel tells his worries about life today, and then he wonders what life will be like in 5 years' time. A brilliant montage transfers us to the future, broken down year by year with some key moments placed into the mix. Like Dan and Ralph getting closer as a couple and then getting married, the death of Queen Elizabeth II and the German leader Angela Merkel, the creation of a new Chinese island called Hangzhou, a Ukrainian refugee crisis, and the second term of Trump. These predictions of what could be very real events are paired with Viv Rook's rise from entrepreneur to politician. The montage is really well made, and it's great to see how these characters change and develop with the world. Now, in 2024, Dan and Ralph's loving relationship full of promise has been replaced by the prospect of your partner rubbing his poo-covered hands above you while you take a shower. Who said romance was dead? Dan then goes to work at his makeshift cargo container village, which is housing loads of Ukrainian refugees. Dan has a slight argument with an inspector who mocks the work they do and the legality of the refugee status. Dan quickly makes his position known, allowing a glimpse of comedy in this world that seems on the brink of dystopia. Dan then meets refugee Victor, played by Maxim Baldry, and gets on really well with him, to a point where he heads home and can't stop thinking about this stranger, who shows more interest in common sense than his partner has in a long time. Did he marry the right man? It's great to imagine how technology will grow and change in a time with all the possibilities. However, this isn't Back to the Future Part 2. Instead, we have photo filters you can wear in reality. They are so creepy, the faces aren't scary, but it's the childlike voices that really get me. I love how clever the use of a filter is, with Bethany, played by Lydia West, using them to mask her true emotions and create a shield, a bubble of security, giving the impression of being happy and confident. But like social media today, filters are used to the extreme and allow people to try and mask over what they see as imperfections, when in truth, they're already great. This leads to Beth admitting to her parents that she is trans, but not in the way you'd first imagine. She's not transsexual, but transhuman. She wants to be data and live forever in a digital world, a place that many spend most of their lives anyway. At first, her parents are fully supportive, but when it's revealed she wants to leave her body and get turned into compost, tempers rise and limits are pushed. I think it's a great sequence that shows just how consumed by the digital world we are, and how it changes how we live, and now who we are. Soon, Dan's doubts in his marriage are solidified as his partner debates on the possibilities of the Earth being flat, and that germs are nothing but a marketing gimmick, suggestions which appear stupid or silly to the majority of people. This leads to Dan calling Stephen and reaching the conclusion that humans are going backwards. All the ace inventions and discoveries have been pushed too far. It is the sad truth. As a species, we don't learn from mistakes and pain, otherwise we'd not start wars and wouldn't have babies. The world we live in is very strange, and Russell T Davies' writing and the cast's superb acting really showcase this in a way that makes us realise just how much the world we live in now could still get much worse, but also the fact is it should be a lot better. At least things can't get any worse. Well, Rosie's first date with a new man, a single dad from school who has been deserted by his wife, takes a nosedive when she finds the attachment he keeps in his bedside drawer for Keith, the robot supposedly just there to help with household chores. This moment furthers the despairing faith in humanity when pleasure outweighs morals. This could have been a moment that ended with Rosie's disgust, but is instead transferred into a more realistic scene, as she tells her two brothers about the ordeal and they laugh themselves silly. Again, a welcome slice of comedy that makes the characters feel relatable. Meanwhile, in the world of politics, Viv Rook has created her own independent political party called the 4-Star Party, the name based on the first scene in the episode with her censorship issues. Also, the tensions surrounding Hong Shao-do continue. The family soon reunite at Grandma Muriel's house for the traditional winter feast to celebrate her birthday. As the adults meet outside for a chat and some burnt food, inside the house we have Beth and the two kids on their phone. One of the kids then decides to put the TV on, and is hopelessly clicking on the remote. Muriel then enters the room to turn the TV on at the wall. Muriel is a character that is still quite old-fashioned. Yes, she uses emails from time to time, but she isn't obsessed with tech as the rest of the family. Outside, after a chat, phones begin to ring, and Edith, played by Jessica Hines, reveals she's on the coast of Vietnam, close to the island of Hong Shao-do, which has been referenced throughout the episode. Inside, an emergency broadcast appears on TV. The true horror is revealed when Edith, and then the emergency broadcaster, say that Donald Trump has fired a Trident nuclear missile at the island. Air raid sirens blare and panic ensues. It's funny, isn't it? We have all this technology, we consume so much news and information every day, but it's not the important stuff that can affect lives. It's funny cats, mad theories, fake news and propaganda. When it comes to the real issues, we shy away, ignore it, or don't even bother to try and understand it until it's far too late. As the family gathers inside, Muriel goes into the kitchen and begins to make tea. She's 90 years of age and has seen the effects of World War II, so it's pretty much normal for her to be hearing sirens. She reacts as she might have done when she was younger, or how her parents did. She makes cups of tea, probably just like her family did in the same crisis. The others begin to bicker and argue. Then the missile detonates on Hong Shao-do. As what might be the end of the world begins to take place, Dan realises there is only one man he wants to be near, and that's Victor. He dashes to his car, leaving his partner in the dust as he travels to the refugee camp. Ralph, heartbroken, goes outside and in a fit of rage kicks over the barbecue. As the fire spreads and mass panic builds, tensions throw between Muriel and Felicity. At the camp, models of the US and Chinese leaders are waved over flames and torn apart by the Ukrainians, as a 4-star party advertisement hangs overhead. Will Viv Rook's no-nonsense approach be what the country needs? Or the last thing the country needs? Will it make things a whole lot worse? The score used for this sequence is great and really furthers the feeling of the world ending. In the chaos and in the crisis, Victor and Dan are brought together and sanctify their love for one another as the world lies on the brink. In just under an hour that flies by, Russell T Davies shows us a world that isn't exactly distant from where we are now, with brilliantly engaging and relatable characters which challenge stereotypes and provide an access point for every viewer. The issues shown are truly something to think about, and frightening thing is the fact that all this could happen so soon. It could be years and years, months and months, or just even a few weeks. The world isn't a great place, and Russell's series really showcases this in a way that isn't all about horror, but one that shows potential futures that can be averted. Russell tried his hand in something like this in Doctor Who with an episode called Turn Left, which showed us a world without the Doctor and the horrors which could unfold. What was one of the darkest stories in the history of the show has been transformed into something even darker, even scarier, and even more mad, and simply much, much greater. Russell T Davies is simply amazing, and has written many masterpieces in his time. This is simply the next one in a long line of successes for the Welshman. I can't wait to see the rest of the series. I'm going to rate this 5 stars out of 5. I have no doubt or complaint in this story, and can't wait for the next 5 episodes, seriously, exploring more years and delving deeper into humanity's future as a species, with more stories on what the world will be like years and years from now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was great once again looking into the work of Russell T Davies and his TV magic. If you're interested in seeing how he brought Doctor Who back in 2005, I've made a mini documentary series on it available here. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below with your thoughts on Years and Years. I hope you enjoy my new videos for Phase 2 of the Whoniverse, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.